Hey, welcome. We have Steve. A ton to talk about today. See what I did there?
Yep, Steve
Steve
Tunn.
Tunn, Aviator Home Loans, mortgage loan officer, Navy pilot, FedEx airplane flyer. Did I say mortgage loan officer?
Mm-hmm.
Church volunteer. What else are you doing?
No, that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah, raising three crazy boys.
You do have three. You have three boys at the perfect age. Like
Yeah, the
you are
fun
at your
ages.
sweet spot. Like,
Well, that's what I tell people. Get your kids involved in sports that you secretly
yes.
like golf, roller hockey, soccer, and then you get to keep doing them for your whole life.
Nice. They're playing the roller hockey.
Yeah, roller hockey is a game changer if you have a kid with ADHD.
So most people don't even know that it's here. But I had some friends that played it, and evidently the PCC team's really good, right?
Yeah, it's a full system. We unexpectedly homeschooled our middle one last year. And so we wanted to get him in something like really active. And someone recommended hockey to us. And we put him in roller hockey, and it has been a game changer. He skates all the time, plays all the time, is moving up the leagues now. So
Nice. I think we left. I just said one pop in my head the title. I want to say financial consultant. You're not a financial consultant. You're not licensed in that arena, correct?
no,
But what do you do? Because I know you talk about it a lot. I know that's how we first met
Yeah.
years ago. So what do you do in the financial planning? What I don't know.
a
what
lot of
it's
it
called.
is previous to mortgage. No one you fall into mortgage. No one comes out of high school and they're like, I want to be a mortgage loan officer. You kind of fall into it, and so prior to mortgage, I was a Dave Ramsey coach. And I would just
Okay.
do budgets for people. In the Navy, I do budgets for people, just generally help people out with financial, not really planning, but just running through snapshots and all that. So we still do a lot of what we call like wealth blueprints and budgeting for our clients. And they seem to really enjoy it. Most of our like pre-approval Zoom calls are over 2 hours long.
Wow.
Is we will walk them through the entire
So that is.
start to finish.
Did you ever get into Todd Duncan?
Mm-mm.
You never. So Todd Duncan was a mortgage guru, and I don't hear much about him, but he helped me with my start. He was like the original coach, whoever you would think of as a mortgage guru right now. I don't know if Barry will be, but he does more just rate forecasting. But
Yeah.
whoever you can think of that does the coaching and direction, he had the CDs, and he talked about I forget what he called it, the upfront client interview. But he talked a lot about the financial plan and
Yeah.
walking them through the whole scenario. And he had a whole thing about it. And he was big on scripts and everything. So he was amazing. He might be worth a listen if you jump back on some of his old stuff, because I still use the scripts to this day. I don't even realize they're scripts because I've been using them so long.
I think the mortgage process in general is messy. It's stressful for a lot of people. They don't like it. So it's kind of pivoting that into like a trusted advisor role.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. You look at everything. So it's like, hey, do you even know how much money you have?
Yeah.
Most people don't know how much money they have. Literally, most people have no idea. Just a snapshot of one page, assets and their liabilities.
Yeah. That is true, because I think it's kind of good too, in a way, because
Well, yeah, you need
for a
it.
long time I didn't realize how much I did have in retirement, and
Yeah.
that was actually not that it was real money, because I still kind of think that you should not think of your retirement like 401k as real money
Mhm.
until your retirement age. But it gave me a lot more comfort when I actually
Yeah.
realized that, okay, I'm okay in the future.
Yeah.
Things might be. So it was nice to see that we saved. I was thinking about this before. Like, I don't know how I picked the people that have gone here. It's got to be a level of respect, and I think everything you do in touch is just first class.
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
love it. I love the heart that is behind everything that you do. Because you are my competition in a way. You're not, because we don't really compete against each other, but you're mortgage.
Yeah.
So we're out there fighting for the same P. But I've called you many times and asked for help, and you have gone over and beyond on, oh, well, this is how I did it, and this is how I fixed that, and I love that. So that's
Yeah.
I'm glad
Anytime.
you-
I mean, if we can help the community, help home buyers, veterans, we do.
yes. And I know online you've offered, hey, loan officers, if you ever stuck with a VA loan,
Yeah.
Call me. I'm not trying to steal your loan. I've seen you say that, and that's pretty awesome. So
And we do it a lot.
yes, you do. So you're pretty awesome. What are you not awesome at?
Ooh, time management.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoy building like businesses. I love like business architect building it, coming from the military. It's unique because you're rewarded basically on how much you can hustle, how long you can stay in your office, how long you can work. Because the people who, you get promoted in the military as an officer, well, if you're in your office from 4 a.m. till 6 p.m., you might get a better ranking, a better whatever. So when you transition that into like business world, you associate being busy with kind of ranking, but actually business world is like productivity,
Right.
not just being busy. And so it's always been a challenge. I have an office, but I work from home a lot, and you got to shut it down some points. And Jenny and I are always talking of like, hey, how are we doing on time management? Because I'll just keep working. I love to work.
Yeah.
And so that is something we always have to turn off at some point.
I think I'm at a stage where I am loving to learn.
Yeah.
Like I could not tell you the hours I spend on podcasts and YouTube videos and TikTok, or not TikTok, but Twitter Spaces, just listening. And I'm going, wow, if this was available to me in my 20s, the amount of things that I've learned about finances, the stock market,
Oh yeah.
making videos, ChatGPT, all of this, it's just I can't get enough information.
Yeah.
Like I play these things when I go to sleep now. I'm sure I don't retain any of them.
Yeah.
But, and the other thing is I do like to play a lot of it with Max in the room.
Oh yeah.
Because when I graduated from college, I didn't know the terms of the stock market.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the terms of mortgages, even though you learn the basic terms. But we never owned a home when I was younger. So I never knew what escrow really was. You always heard about things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like for him just to hear those terms, because then that's going to be basic vocabulary, even though he's not really asking or following along. I don't know. In my head, I think that's going to help him when he gets older, because it's going to be comfortable lingo when he
100%.
goes to start to study something.
100%.
So how old are your kids right now?
So we have 13, 11, and 8.
13, 11, and 8. All right. So, yeah, that is perfect.
It's like the perfect dad
eight's-
sports.
Yeah, and 8's no longer a baby. He's
Yep.
independent. And is he the toughest most times?
He's feisty, and everyone's scared of him.
Really?
He just does.
Like his brothers or everybody?
He just beats his own drum until he gets
Yeah.
hurt, and then it's like, who hurt the baby?
I love that. I love videos online where kids are jumping off things and building things. And Max has some friends that live in the next neighborhood, and it was the biggest blessing to find them, because here there's several kids that live here. They don't ever come outside.
Yeah.
And, I mean, my son doesn't either, unless he goes over there. And when he goes over there, there's 4 or 5 kids that stay outside all day long.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I mean, it's a cul-de-sac. They jump things. They do dangerous things. They play. There's little girls, boys, everything. It's been awesome. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Christmas.
It's close.
It is. Tell me about Christmas at the Ton House.
Yeah, so it is. Usually I'm out flying, or when I was in the military, I missed them all. So
Christmas Day or Christmas
yeah,
Eve or
Christmas
both?
Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you're just kind of gone. So really, it hasn't been until the past couple of years I'm actually home for Christmas.
Yeah.
So usually Jenny would go back home with the kids. But now, since she works up at a church, Christmas is kind of like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Playoffs might be Easter. This is Super Bowl. Here's the way you want to do it. So a lot of it revolves around, accommodating some of her schedule, the church's schedule, and then we kind of plug in when we can. So it's pretty laid back. Usually,
Are there any traditions that you follow now that were from the kids? Like when you were a kid, like is there anything like, hey, we do this every? So for me, I got to cut my tree down.
Yeah.
It's just something I've always done. We always have to do it. We always decorate it together. And I know there's families that becomes a big fight, and there's like, mom decorates the tree when nobody's at home.
No. I mean, we do the whole fake Christmas tree thing. Pretty consistent. Ornaments, get it up. I would say the big tradition is after Thanksgiving. I would put the tree up, I think, well before. Christmas music well before.
Thank you. I agree.
Once you hit Halloween, you're in Christmas.
Yes.
Uh,
My thought, and I keep interrupting. I
no,
apologize.
you're good.
My thought is, you could celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Thanksgiving does not exist because you have Christmas music on.
I agree.
Anyway, finish your
No,
thought.
I agree.
So you have the lights and you put the
it's
tree
really
up the day after?
Yeah, after Thanksgiving, we roll out the tree, all this stuff, and so it's pretty fun. I don't think there's a big like hardline tradition we do, but we all like to decorate, get all the boxes out, put them up in the yard.
Do y'all make cookies?
No,
No cookies?
I mean when the kids were younger, we would feed the reindeer
Oh, yeah.
and do like that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's more of like, I went on a run with the 11-year-old. Thinking I'd have some like motivational speech with him, and he asked me, he was like, "So where are you guys hiding the Christmas presents this year?" It was like all he was concerned about.
Now, do you have an office or do you work from home?
I do have an office, a physical office outside the house, and I have one inside the house.
Okay, the reason I ask is I always had my presents at the office.
That's
like it
actually
was
smart
never
too.
even hard. Like, I had
should
Amazon
probably do that.
deliver it to the office. It just 100%. And
I-
then I just went up there and wrapped them. And a lot of times it was Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock at night. I left the house, went, wrapped the presents, and brought them home. Because
That's genius. I should have done that.
Who wraps in advance?
Yeah, we'll use like neighborhood, like neighbors and stuff, but
Oh, okay.
office would be way
The
easier.
big ones, that works. Yeah, so like, talk about traditions. Like, we always carved pumpkins when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
every year. That was like the greatest thing in the world. I think we've carved one pumpkin.
I know.
I don't know why. It's like my kids just haven't even been interested. I brought them home, and they're just kind of like,
Yeah.
not interested. But we we always bake cookies, and we're not very good at it. So it's usually the peanut butter one with the Hershey Kiss on top.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a podcast hopefully next week, and we're going to do some cookie tasting.
Ooh.
So I thought about, and I should have, I'm going to organize it next year. I want to have everybody that was on the podcast to come back
Oh, that'd be cool.
and all do like a Christmas something.
Like a podcast alum.
yes.
Like you're an alumni of the podcast.
Yes. Like appreciation, but then, I don't know. But then, if it's, I think I've had 28 episodes, something like that. That's a lot of
amazing.
people in a room to be tasting cookies.
You should be proud of yourself. Are you proud of yourself for the podcast? You should be really proud of yourself. It's really cool doing this.
So thank you very much. It's, I talked to Amy Gant was on here. We talked about the
Yeah.
imposter syndrome. It's like, I don't give myself credit because I'm like, well, I love it and it's easy for me, so that don't count.
Yeah.
Like I almost don't give myself credit for anything that I don't have to work hard at. Does that make sense? Like
That's like a superpower then.
Yeah, I guess.
Double down on superpower.
Talking is superpower.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like when things come natural, I feel like that's like the download that you
Yes.
get.
And I do work hard on we talked about the editing and
Yeah.
the little videos. I do spend a lot of time on that. So, but I'm not proud of that yet because I don't think it's as good as it can be.
Well, you're learning.
Yeah.
You said you like to learn earlier.
Yes. And I am comparing myself to Joe Rogan's clips and, all these others that just seem to be crystal clear video, perfect audio. And mine have been pretty good for
Yeah.
the low budget and the low effort that I do put into the recording. But
Well, it's supposed to be messy.
yeah,
It's supposed to be messy.
it is. So your wife has taken over. I was going to interrupt again, but see, I
No.
helped myself. You talk about Christmas is now the Super Bowl for y'all, but your wife is in charge of Upstreet now. at
Oh yeah,
Southside.
super proud of her.
Well, I feel like you've got the Super Bowl every Sunday. I'm sure your kids got to be at church early, and they're involved in the decorating and the changing of the guard and just everything up there. That's got to be an amazing experience for your kids.
No, it is, and I think super proud of what Jenny has done. And a lot of people don't realize Jenny has a very big background in education, masters in
Oh, wow.
like reading and literacy. Like she has a very significant background with children. And I think she really enjoys from volunteering. She's been up there for 7 years now and on staff for 4, I believe. 4 years now. Knows how the system works, knows it. And it's a big responsibility. I mean, there's a lot of kids, volunteers, you're constantly plugging holes and making it work. And I mean, Sundays start at 7:30 at our house and off go the kids and her. And
Yeah. Well,
You
does it
know?
start at 7:30? So it start Saturday. When do they get ready? Because I just know, like Whitney was fantastic.
yeah,
and before her, like the talent and everything they have to manage with safety
Yeah.
and with you got to make sure the kids have a good experience, but you also got to make sure all these volunteers have a good experience. They're volunteering, but you also got to make sure that they're happy.
Yeah, you definitely have two clients.
Yeah.
You have volunteer
Kind of
clients.
like the mortgage business.
Yeah.
We've got two clients
Yeah.
in the mortgage business.
Client and the realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's got both sides of it, and it's good. It's a good organization. It's a tough one, and I think you really have to be called to do it. And she definitely feels very called to do it, and I think it's great what she does.
That's awesome.
And it's not easy. Technically, they get Friday, Saturday off, but
Okay.
your Sunday's Monday, but people are calling, and there's a lot of things that happen up at the church and the church family that people don't even see.
Right.
And a lot of the resources that Jenny works with and Chris Patton work with, I would say 80% of the stuff going on, no one even knows about. People are getting assistance. People are going through life changes. Like there's a lot that happens, especially when you're dealing with kids and all the messy stuff that can happen in life.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that because just not only with the assistance, but with the tragedies that some people are experiencing. And I know I see some of the other Andrew up there that he's like, oh, I can't. We're working with this family, or just in so many different avenues. So I know it is a full-time job, but it's a great season of life because I know Whitney moved on because she basically is in town. She's like a pastor in a way. She has to be in church every Sunday. Your vacations are controlled.
Yeah, you don't miss Sunday. I mean, that's kind of what goes with the territory, right? You don't sign up to go work in a
church.
If
you like run into the lake every weekend.
Yeah, and then you're like, hey, I want to do that. But it's been great. I mean, Whitney did an amazing job. All of her kids, just the pattern you'll see is once a lot of people's kids go through the whole system, a lot of times people might choose something different, It's been very influential, and all of our kids have all been baptized up there. I think it's very positive having them in the church environment, the church family, and it's really cool. I'm really proud of what she's done, and there's long nights, there's early mornings, there's a lot of head space, I call it, like you're constantly thinking, but she's definitely built for it, and I think she does a great job at it, and I'm like, go as long as you can.
And for the kids too, because I was the same. I was a storyteller in Upstreet while my kids were going through, and then once they moved on, I moved on and have not found where I'm going to plug myself back in yet. I'm still working on that. But I think it's so great to have your kids seeing you volunteer.
Yeah.
Or serving is probably better, because sometimes you're paid to serve, but you're still serving.
Yeah.
And you're being paid to serve because you're good at it. And so I'm very careful with those two words, because serving is very important to me, for everybody to serve, whether you're serving your clients, truly serving your clients in the mortgage business, or as a realtor, truly serving them versus just transactional, doing anything. Yeah. And so that for your kids to see, your wife up there handling stress, but then also handling joy, and all the things that they probably see her putting together these things, and then they're in the big room when the big thing is revealed, and they see the joy and the reward. So all that talking to just say, that's awesome. I think
it's awesome
reap rewards for your kids being there.
So, no, I think it's awesome what she does.
So mortgages. So you're still you're a Navy pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did you serve in the Navy? Were you the full retired?
So I did 11 years active, and then 8 years reserve, and I have 1 year left in the reserves.
1 year left in reserves.
So I still drill up in Marietta.
Okay. So then, do you have the opportunity to continue if you want, or is that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit the 20 and be done.
So next year is 20 and you're
20
done.
and we're done.
Wow. Do you get like a medal or a badge?
I think I just always, sometimes you hold personal goals that people don't understand.
Yeah.
That you just want to achieve, and I just always want to get 20 years. Of service.
That's awesome. It's funny. Again, so the description of my podcast is it's going to be as good as my attention span will allow. So I bounce around. I always said in the mortgage business, when I first got in it, my manager had been in it 10 years. And I was like, who does anything for 2 years? Like, what? For 10 years, why would you do it? And here I am 25 years later. So, all right, so you did that, and now you're a pilot for FedEx, and it's freight. Is that
Yeah, just freight. So obviously FedEx is a big logistics company. So I fly 777s over there. So we do the
Is it
long
international?
haul. Yeah, long
I
haul.
thought yours were long. Yeah, because you were like,
Yeah, you go all over the world. I've always enjoyed traveling the globe. You know, from Johannesburg to Paris to Guangzhou, China. We spend a lot of time in China, Japan. Like I enjoy getting out, learning the different cultures. It's really interesting to talk to other people from outside the U.S. and get their
Yeah.
opinions on U.S. politics. It's actually one of the funnest,
Yeah.
coolest things ever. You know,
so do they hate us as much as we think that they do?
no, it's the funny thing is I don't really partake in a lot of the news, but the CNN, the Fox News, like that's really just for America.
Yeah.
Outside America, those don't get put out. BBC is a big one outside the global news brands. So it's pretty interesting when you travel, like all the stuff we're being told, no one knows about.
Right.
They just know they like this guy, don't like this guy. They like this, they don't like that. It's like A and B. It's not constant feed of just I don't even know what you want to call the news now.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and I would agree. I had Lisa Kelly on, and she was talking about in Ireland.
Yeah.
She was like, people think that other people hate America. She's like, people in Ireland love America.
Yeah,
they
everyone-
love Americans. They name their streets after American places. And I remember I guess right after 9/11 and the war with the oil, when it turned into that whole thing, I think we got a little bit of a bad reputation. But then I think after that, as there's so much social media, people from other countries realize that we're kind of all the same. We're a product, we're not our government. We elect them, but then they're not who we thought they were. And, so they know that the crap that's going on up there is not really who we believe.
No, and they're pretty good about it. But it's fun, in China, I tipped the driver one time, he's giving me a hug and I don't really know what's going on. And I tipped him like 2 days' wages. Like you don't even realize in some of these cultures and like the way it works and income disparity and like poverty and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, shit, yeah. Glad I had no idea. And the guy's like, dude, you just gave him 2 days of wages. I was like, it was like $20, $30. It was a long drive, So that's the stuff you kind of see around the world that you kind of step back and you're like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're a very wealthy nation. Even our poor are wealthy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say our nation's a consumer-driven nation. A lot of other countries are not consumer-driven.
Yeah.
They're very work-driven, The U.S. is really the only country that gets 2 days off every 7 days. A lot of cultures work, 6 days, 7 days.
Really?
They don't do all
So
this.
they always make fun of us they say we work too much. Is it because we don't, like a lot of countries I know take a minimum of 4 weeks vacation.
Well,
but
they'll
they
take
work
time,
7
but
days.
they'll work.
They're either working when
Yeah.
they're working or they're vacation when they're vacation.
And I think a lot of the work is, I don't know what studies say that, but yeah, it's just different, seeing different cultures. And
So how many, do you get like a full day layover or how much time do you have when you're there?
Some of them are 60 hours,
I got to do the math
like
now.
2.5 days,
Okay.
2 days. Like I love going to Paris. We go to Paris a lot. And I got a whole system. When we hit Paris, I have like a playbook that off we go. We hit the trains and we're gone.
So I know with like Delta pilots, their wife could fly in the back,
Yeah.
whatever. Is that ever a
No.
possibility for,
No.
you can't box her up and throw her in the back?
No, the only passengers we will get is when we fly animals.
Okay.
So people,
So there's 2 pilots or how many pilots are on a plane?
you'll
when you
have
fly first?
between 2 and 4 pilots.
Okay.
I like the long haul stuff where you get 4 pilots.
Yeah.
And you got like bunk bed and all that stuff.
So
So
2 fly, 2
Yep.
sleep, 2
Mhm.
fly. Okay.
yeah, and those are long flights. Those are over 12 hours.
Yeah.
Um,
So what is your key to what's the word? Jet lag. How
Yeah,
do you
I keep
overcome
it-
that back and forth on both sides?
I just keep it simple. Sleep when you're tired.
Tired.
Eat when you're hungry.
Yeah.
When you're putting cycles on your body, the biggest thing is hydration
Yeah.
and fitness. But if you running mortgage and flying, we have a team in the mortgage side. But you just have to accept, like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll tell the team, like, I'm out today,
Yeah.
or I'm doing whatever, or we're kind of recovering. Previously I would try to get home and stay for 36 hours, and then you get too tired to sleep,
Yeah.
and then your whole, I'm like, if it takes 3-4 days to get back,
Yeah.
I'll take 3-4 days.
Well, I had a friend tell me once because we used to travel international. He's a Delta pilot international, and he said the first thing he did every time he landed was go for a run.
Yeah.
He said because one, he'd check in his hotel and then
Yeah.
go for a run. He said one, it gave him perspective of where he was in the
Yeah.
city. It gave him an idea of where he was, but it also just helped either wake him up if he needed to stay up longer, or it whatever it did help him adjust that. So I've started. Well, I haven't done it in a while, but I don't run as much. But for a while, I was trying
Yeah.
to go for a run. First thing I did, put your stuff down and go for, even if it's a mile, whatever. Just
Just
kind
get
of around the
outside.
blocks. Just get outside and see everything. So,
I love walking.
yeah,
I've shifted a lot of my running to walking now.
yeah.
And
We do that as well. I used to.
you know,
I used to make fun of my friends because we did boot camp at 5:30 and they'd get up and go walk at 5:30. I was like, I can walk at any time. Why would I get up to go walk at 5:30 in the morning? And then I realized, Davey, you're not walking. You're not walking.
Yeah.
So go when you have friends that are walking, and that'll make you get out and walk.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and it's oddly nice to walk around the lake and first thing in the
Yeah.
morning. It's wonderful. So
nice and cool.
so then mortgages, you're doing that. I don't think you realize how much production you are a high producing loan officer. You are not average run of the mill. You are extremely successful again at another business, and you're still flying. You're a full time employee flying, and you're running a very successful mortgage business. How do you do that?
Team, I think a lot of it is I've bounced around really quickly in mortgage when I first got into it. And the other thing too is I had 2 businesses prior to getting into mortgage. That did not work, by the way. I think the only clients I ever had were my parents and the other 2. So thanks, Mom and Dad, for helping the first 2 businesses. But no, in mortgage, any business, you have to look like it's about sequencing and about architecture. And really it comes down to capital utilization and identifying a constraint in a business. And so this applies to anything, not just mortgage. So for me, a constraint is time. I fly. So what's one thing I can do is I can go get a pre-approval manager, or LP1 they call it, or there's various titles for them. And that's Ashley. And we've been together for a while, and she's absolutely amazing. And so there's always a continuity in the machine of pre-approvals. She's also licensed, so she can lock. She can do anything I can do, she can do.
Right.
And we take very detailed notes of whenever we talk to clients. So really you just set up the sequencing. And I think that's where most people get it out of order is, most people are like, you go all in on the operations. Well, if that's not your constraint, you're wasting your time. So most people in the loan game don't focus on marketing enough or getting leads enough or creating value. And that's really all I do is focus on marketing, lead generation. 99% of my day, or it's 95% of my day, that's all I focus on. The rest is handled by pre-approval manager, Sydney, our processor, collectively, between the 3 of us, more on them than me. But we have done 5,000 loans.
Yeah.
That's a lot of firepower.
So you're the CEO. You're saying that you're focusing on marketing, but you are also the expert, and you're doing these Zoom calls.
Well, the Zoom call is really, so when you take the process down is, previously before I had this set up, I was in a file 8 hours from conversation.
So that was my next question. So now you have a level of production where you can hire these
Yeah.
people. How did you manage it in the beginning? So say somebody that's trying to build something like this that can't hire a closing manager, what is a system that they should create?
I think
Or
the first thing
what
is
worked for you?
identify what you want to build before you even start. Because most people see, a producer or this or that, and they're like, I want to be just like whatever. It takes time to build things. And you're going to go through, before Ashley, there were 3 before her that did not work. So if you don't like to hire and fire people, that might not be fun.
Yeah.
The assistants we have now, there's been 4 of them prior to the one I have now. Like you have to set up a standard, set up a process, and everyone's loyal to the brand, to include myself. So if I get my own corrections, same with anyone, if anyone messes up, per se, accidents happen, but everyone's loyal to the brand. And I think if you're starting out, the first thing is just identify what you want. that's why most people, like a lot of people call, they say, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, what are you building? Are we building a lifestyle business, a max revenue business? Are you building, mortgage business is inherently very different than a wealth management or insurance business. And so when people reach out, I just usually just ask them, like, what are you building? Because if you don't know that, then you're going to waste time trying to create something, or you end up losing resources or wasting money,
Right.
or you get the people in the wrong seats. But it takes time to put the pieces in, and then when you have it, you kind of lock it in until you kind of get to the next constraint. And then you go back to, like right now, our constraint is just more business.
Right.
The operation's built.
Okay. So there's a lot of words there. So let's break it down and make it a little simpler.
Yeah.
So for somebody that wants to build a mortgage business, because you're very system oriented, I guess. Because we've talked about the things that you've hired out for people to farm through LinkedIn and through all that, through the marketing. So do you think, so you said you believe marketing is the biggest place where people are lacking? Or do you think it's in the systems once they get the loans in through the door?
Nope. It's 100% on marketing will pull the company. You can't push it from behind. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a game plan to market, it's really tough to create the operation and then you start pushing it from the back. Like you're trying to push the operation. And if you go talk to a business partner or a realtor and you're like, I can do all this cool stuff, they've hered that speech a lot. Right. So the marketing is really, all marketing does is get people to say yes easier. That's all we're trying to do. And I always say you need to be one ahead of the transaction. So for, if you're prospecting with referral partners or whoever it is, like just solve their problem and show them how to solve their problem. Don't ask for the business, just show them how to solve their constraint for them to get more business. And so if you're looking to start, so your original question was, where do you go if you're looking to start a mortgage company? The first is...
Now, so just differentiate. So we're talking about a mortgage company or just a mortgage business? Like, because you started a mortgage company. You own Aviator Home Loans.
So we started out as a lender.
Okay.
So we had warehouse lines. We had, I call it the bazooka gun. We're funding our own loans, but there's too much compliance. Really quickly, we learn this is not where we want to be. So we focus on the mortgage brokerage side. Okay. So we have a bunch of lenders that we take the client's information, their application, and then we can shop their loan for them.
Do you, again, my ADD, but do you know how incredible that is that you went from no experience, and you've been doing this, 5-6 years?
Yeah, right at 5 years.
You went from, it wasn't like, I've been doing mortgages for 28 years, and I talk to a friend of mine in the business all the time, and we're always like, let's just do this on our own. Why are we keep doing this, doing it on our own? And we're like, I wouldn't know who to call to fix the copy machine. Like, there's just so much. That is incredible that you learned how to that's a big thing, is not just learning how to do it. You actually probably had to learn it and do it at the exact same time. I don't see how you had the window to do mortgages, to learn how to do mortgages, to learn how to run. But you said you've had experience in running a business, so it's similar.
Yeah, it's similar.
And all that other stuff.
I always just say kind of the two things. The first is, if you're an employee of a mortgage company, their job is to keep you an employee. They will tell you every scare tactic to keep you in that company. Yeah. And some of them are legit. Hey, compliance, don't do this because compliance is absolute, it's really tough. Well, yeah, compliance isn't fun. Like, I get it. Go hire it out or whatever it might be. So I think there's a lot of, persuasion that happens with people who want to go build something. And a lot of times the higher ups per se, I say, don't do this, and I'm not saying they're all that way, but I have found, I was told by some trusted people every reason not to do it. And then you do it and you're like, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad, And then I think the second thing is just, you need to bet on yourself. I think that's where most people, like the worst case of this whole scenario is I go back to doing what I was doing with another company. So you're just learning, like you mentioned earlier, you love learning. I love learning. I'm a do it with your hands learning guy. So I'd rather bet on myself, check it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, hey, we're cool.
That's tremendous. That's awesome. So so your VA has been your focus.
Yeah, VA.
We've talked about that because you had an experience, and people can watch your videos to find out
Yeah.
your experience and how you turn that into a passion of helping veterans, but also pilots. You focused on because Delta pilots are paid different.
All pilots are paid, yeah.
Or I guess all pilots. So
Yeah.
I mean, yours is the same. You get paid flight time versus you're not just a salary person. So that's gives you that experience.
It's very confusing, but yeah, you're paid under a collective bargaining agreement.
Right.
And underwriting really struggles with reading the contract.
Right.
So we just dumb it down for them.
Yeah. And I think what I've learned that my experience with even loan officers that I work with, there are certain borrowers and even loan types that it's a lot of effort for the loan officer.
Yeah.
And so they will pass on it. And the reason I say that is because for you've became it to where it's not an effort. So somebody that works with a lot of VA or with a lot of pilots or whatever, like for me, we do a lot of USDA, a lot of Georgia Drain. We do a lot of VA loans. We don't mind diving in and getting our hands dirty because we're used to it.
Yeah.
And we're very familiar with it. Where the reason of saying that is someone out there might be working with a loan officer that doesn't have a lot of experience and they really don't feel like looking it up or digging.
Yeah.
It ain't a matter of just typing in a question and getting an answer back because not all that stuff is easily found. You've got to have the right resources. So if someone out there is not having the experience that they think they should as whatever it is, self-employed person, a pilot, an investor, whatever it is, then just know that the loan officer you're working with might be an outstanding loan officer, but they might have enough business that comes as conventional 80% loans so they don't work on other loans. And therefore, a buyer might miss out on a better product, a better rate, lower cost, whatever.
And I would say we refer a ton of business. I know I've sent you the Georgia Dream stuff before, some HELOC product stuff. I can do HELOCs.
Yeah.
We can do HELOCs. Our product is not good.
Yeah.
And so I will tell clients, hey, what zip code are you in? Where are you at? And I think that has always been more of like, I kind of view it as trusted advisor positioning, not, yeah, it's fun to do the loans and all that stuff, but like you're building a long-term relationship with people. It's just a short-term product. And so I feel a lot better off when we get some stuff that we can figure out. I'm like, I told the team, I'm like, we're not doing it. We're not bringing it through the system because it jams my system.
Yeah.
And we're not built for some of these products. And so that's why I think that's helped focus on the VA, the pilots, because like I said, things come through and I'll just call a client and say, hey, I'm not the best fit. I've done one of these in 5 years.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, I recommend you talk to them. We will try it.
We'll do it, but
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. It's the same thing when we broker.
This could get bumpy.
Yeah. If I have to broker a product, I'm like, I'm going to lose control here because it's brokered through another lender because it's a different product.
Yeah.
So I just want you to be aware. If you want to go with somebody else, understand, I'm happy to do it. I'll always be your contact person, but I lose control, so I don't know how quickly they're going to respond or if it's going to close on time. So, mobile homes is I try to, I'd love for realtors to know that with mobile homes, you really need to work with somebody that does a lot of mobile homes or manufactured products.
Yep.
Because for somebody like me, I don't do a lot. And I find that, and it might be because I just haven't done a lot, but I find that 9 out of 10 get declined for some crazy reason that's wrong with the product or the license of the mobile home, something. And then we call them relationship killers. Like you get a mobile home dealer, your relationship with that realtor is going to go away because they're going to be so mad because you couldn't get it done quickly, even if you do get it done, because they don't understand how complicated and how easily those things go sideways. So now I tell realtors we don't do that product, even though technically we could, but I'm just not going to do a great job at it, and I don't want to risk losing a relationship because you trusted to refer me. I don't want to lose it, so we just go somewhere else.
Anything you can't set proper expectations on and frame, like I'm really big on framing things. If I can't set the correct frame and the expectation of what's the sequence of this mortgage, I tend to shy away from it. And it's so funny. Yeah, mobile homes are very difficult. I think I've tried to do like 4 or 5 of them,
Yeah.
and then when you realize you have these engineering certificates and you got to pay for all this stuff, usually the bar is, where's the
They're
money
buying
coming
that
from?
because they don't have money.
And
The
then
seller doesn't have
yeah.
money. And yeah.
But they're working, and I think it's so funny whenever this kind of comes back, like the framing and the control and the experience, right? That's what we're trying to do. Is my goal is, if a realtor trusts me with their client, is to get them a 5-star Google review. At the end of the day, that's what we're going for. You get reviewed, that you can use that for marketing, whatever else, and obviously the experience. And so it's so funny. I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but whenever people,
We're like 40 minutes in. Nobody's listening anymore.
no one's listening anymore. So a lot of times, we'll get a call and some realtors will say, hey, we have to refer 3 lenders, 3 whatever. And sometimes that's more office policy or their company policy. Really, really cool. So if someone's already working with a loan officer and they call for a second opinion or a second rate, all I ask them is, do you like working with the guy?
Yeah.
They say, well, yeah, he's great. I said, well, then why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, I was told I should talk to 2 or 3 to get the lowest rate. I said, this is not how you get the lowest rate, by the way, by talking to 3. The lowest rate is actually discount online. You're not going to make the closing. And then I was like, so what's your goal? They're like, well, I just really want someone, to like listen to me and
someone that answers the phone,
get me to close. I'm like, is the guy you're talking to?
Yeah.
I go, hey, I think you should stick with him. I'm not even going to tell you my rates because there's no, you're getting a good service. And I think what I have found, and that's I love with you and other people, is if I take an application, I run them through the whole thing, and at the end of the day, I get super competitive. We start doing margin suppression between people.
Yeah.
We hurt each other, hurts the client.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? And then you look at the realtor, and she's like, oh my God, they're so stressed now. And I'm like,
yeah, you created
well,
that.
it's all about experience. And I think the realtors are very good with this. Loan officers need to get better with it, but it's like, if you can, I always tell clients, mirror your emotions. So if you get excited, your client gets excited. If you do this, they get this, But I always just found it funny whenever people call and they're already working with someone. I'm like, do you like them? They're like, yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I'm like, then keep working with them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like this. I'm like, did you tell him that? Well, no, I just want to I'm like, no, tell him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd love to help you out. Or she.
I've told realtors before, when a customer calls you and says, David wants my bank statements. I've already given that to him 3 times and he's asking again. I'm like, your reaction doesn't need to be, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe he's doing that. It should be, hey, let's pick up the phone and call David and find out why. Because maybe there's a reason. Maybe
expired, something, whatever.
Let's be calm and let's react. Or David didn't give me blah, 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 whatever it is. Let's go, hey, David's rate is this or his costs are different. Well, let's call David and let's ask him why it's different. Because they will go to the realtor and blah, 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 blah. And the agent's reaction either makes or breaks the trust that customer has in us. So if they go, hey, let's pick up the phone and call David, there's got to be a good reason. There's no way David just increased the closing costs $1,000. So let's call him and let's find out. Then the customer's like, oh, okay. And then they call me and I go, oh, well, you have HOA setup fees or something.
Whatever.
That's, whatever is different. So I love that is the way they react. And loan officers can.
Well, they mirror, and I've always just explained to clients, you're building your table and you get to pick who you want these seats. And, traditionally in real estate, the realtor is kind of the orchestrator of the whole process. And we kind of run the title side and they, run inspections and stuff like that. But you really want to empower the client experience, because if the client has a 5-star experience, everyone wins. Everyone wins. And I think that is what I've always told people up front is proper expectations is it's going to be painful up front, but the reward is going to be a 2-hour Zoom call with me. That's your reward for getting all your documents in, because I won't do it unless you are pre-approved, period. You will not get on this call with me until I know I can help you.
Okay.
And so you almost kind of get the like, and then they get the Zoom call. Now they're like super excited, and we can show them, usually whoever refers us in, right? We're going to talk about that person for a long time.
Yes.
So if you refer into us, or this goes for any industry too. This is not just mortgage, but if someone gives you a personal referral, friend, family, realtor, you need to spend time talking about them. And because what you do, two things. A, they are going to question their decision to call you. So if you talk about them, the client's going to say, hey, this was a good decision.
Yeah.
The second thing is the more association they have with the referral person, it's almost less friction you have in the transaction, because there's going to be a lot of, basically the trust they have with that will shift into you the more you talk about it.
Yes.
And that's what I find when people get referrals. Normally it's like, oh, high five, thanks for the referral. It's like, oh, no. We're going to talk about this realtor
Yes.
for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over your Google reviews with them. I'm going to tell them about your family. I'm telling them about the shit you do in the community. I'm going on all of it.
Yes.
Because I want them to know how awesome you are, because you associate that over.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And that's one thing that I added to my business about a year ago, is because I always wanted to constantly talk about the realtor, but also bring them back, especially in the time we are now where customers may be cycling back around, is in my phone. When I save my customer's contact, I put the realtor's name
absolutely.
right underneath it, so that when I call them, because right now I'm in a period where I'm calling past customers and saying, hey, I just want to check in. Fed just met this week, lowered rates. You have any questions? I just ran into Mary and she's doing this and this. So it gives, that's why we're great loan officers, because we do more. It's not just transactional. I know how important it is. I know how hard it is to get a lead, especially for a realtor.
Yeah.
So to be able to help them keep it is huge.
No, and you want to keep the team together.
Yes.
That's what I always tell people. And like, once you kind of give the pre-approval, once you do all that, our close rate once we do the Zoom call is 91%.
Wow.
Once we do that call. And so that's why we invest so much in that Zoom call. That's why
so let's get into that Zoom call real quick to wrap up, because we're going long now. But the Zoom,
whatever.
So there's the personality studies, managing people's personalities. You got some people that want to see all the numbers. That's all they care about. Some people want the emotion of it. And like, how do you manage? You've used the word 2-hour Zoom call. And when I think of me as a buyer, like I remember when I did my financial planning and met with a financial planner, and he sat there and started blah, 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 and about blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't really care. Like, stop talking to me. I'm here because I trust you. So how do you manage that when you're on a call? Because I would hate for somebody to be sitting through a long call when they don't care anything. They're like, your realtor said you're good. Just give me the loan and go.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the client. So this is not forced on anyone at all. Everyone,
so like you said, it's a
option.
Do you call it a benefit? What do you call it? You call it, this is your reward.
This is your reward for getting all your documents in.
Right, turn it in. So it's a reward if you choose to.
Yeah, and I always tell people, hey, this is not required. 100%, if you're just, hey, I want my pre-approval, show my numbers, we'll do that too. So a lot of it is gauging the client. And we split it into two sections. One goes into education, one goes into mortgage. And I just tell people, like, you don't have to, like, if you're good on these topics, you're good on the topics. You don't, like, it's very customizable to the individual. So some people are like, I bought a bunch of homes. I'm like, all right, cool. We're just going to start rolling. And then if you're like, I'm good, I'll skip, go to the next section. And then usually what happens is people are like, oh, I didn't even.
No one, you bought 10 homes, but no one's ever walked you through it.
Yeah, I didn't know closing costs and the difference between origination and escrows and all sorts of different things. And so it's education, kind of quick, about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the questions they have. But that's when we go over the, this is when you need to call me. This is when you call the realtor. This is when you don't do big financial purchases. Don't wire money around. You can set the expectation before you even do it. And the whole purpose is to lower the stress to create a better experience.
Right.
education, and then I actually will just show them the origination system. I'll share my screen with them. I'll show them the whole thing. I don't gatekeep anything.
Yeah.
And I'll walk through their documents with them. I'll show them the whole application. We'll update, make sure the titles are correct. And what you're doing is you're creating the system to where the second they put an offer in, they know everything.
Yeah.
And I can close in 14 days because they walked through this whole document with me.
Yeah.
So if there's anything they wanted to change, they could have. I'm not saying obviously things can change when you get in the transaction, but it just sets a really good tone. Sometimes the realtors might hop on it, sometimes they don't, but I don't force it on anyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key is I just offer it up, but the feedback we get at the end of the loan is everyone's like, dude, that call
Yeah.
was amazing.
Made everything.
And you can set up like, this is when Ashley does things. This is when Cindy does things. This is when you're going to hear from this person.
Yeah. Do they get on the call with you or
Mm-hmm.
no?
No,
Yeah, it wouldn't-
but they can. I mean, sometimes, Ashley's hopped on, I think once or twice, but it's a very good way. But this is how, to your point, sometimes they'll do these things and they'll run it back to their financial advisor.
Yeah.
Because when you're qualifying for homes, paying off debt can be different, or how you want to structure something. Obviously we don't want to incur tax obligations if they cash something out early, or, big one we've had lately is taking, a non-retirement asset account, taking a loan off of it instead of cashing out your investments, right? So they don't pay capital gains and all that stuff. So you're looking at it, they're like, are you cool if we do that? They're like, yeah, how do I do it? I'm like, call your advisor. This is what you need to tell them. And so you just build a lot of trust,
Yeah.
and you build a relationship.
Yeah.
I keep talking
That's awesome.
way more about it. But
No, that's awesome. I absolutely love talking to you about it because it gives me a lot of things that we talk about. The Todd Duncan part of his interview process was a lot of those things, and I forgot them, and you just brought them all back into mind, and my mind's clicking on just kind of communicating more with the financial planners and all that. It helps. So I had a friend that did all of his applications face to face,
yeah,
and I was like, how do you do that? That's so painful because people want to sit and drag it out. And I'm like, when in busy times, I just felt like I never had time. He's like, this saves so much time. And I started paying more attention, and all the things that was keeping me so busy catching on the back end, he did it all up front. Like, not just give me all your documents, but more explaining. So he wasn't taking that phone call going, what do I do about insurance? What do I get? He did it all up front, and it just, everything for him ran so much more smooth because he did that face-to-face up front. I still have not moved to that process, but I have done the Zoom a few times, and I'm trying to make that more of a discipline into my,
Well, everyone, I would say it works. Something works for everyone.
yes.
This happens to work in the current market for me right now, but I'm always looking at different options of, how do you create value? And that's what I always go towards. And like one thing we also do is we have a 3-year mortgage maintenance plan, right? So once you close, we enroll them in a software that monitors their rate, their equities, everything. It sends them, there's a couple different softwares that do this.
Is that HomeBot, or do you use another one?
Well, there's Home IQ, HomeBot. There's various services out there. But what a lot of people don't understand is you have to label it. Because you tell a client, hey, I got a software called HomeBot. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
What is that? No, it's a mortgage maintenance plan that's custom to you, that you don't have to do all the extra work that you want to do. You don't have to keep looking at the rates. You don't have to keep looking at equity, because I'm going to do all that for you in the post-mortgage maintenance plan.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people, when they're like, and that kind of goes to the marketing side of, when you get them in those calls, I show them. I'm like, yeah, look at our mortgage maintenance plan. By the time we're done, they have, you try to stack as much value as you can. They're cool with it.
Yeah.
The realtor's on the email sometimes. So
That's awesome.
there's a whole process. But
We could do a whole mortgage topic. I tried to get to know Steve on another level, but we should have just jumped into mortgage because you got so
I love
much
business.
to offer.
I love it. We're working on the 4th company right now.
Yeah.
So we have more coming.
Another company?
Yeah.
Like outside of mortgage?
Yeah. You'll see it in 26.
Wow. So you're like, Brett Scarborough. I'm friends with the family.
Yeah.
So I've been around Brett a little bit, and I was talking to Dawn, his sister, and she was just telling me like they were out skiing, and he was on the phone on the lift, and this guy works nonstop.
Yeah.
And he was like, somebody just called me. I met him at the restaurant, and they called me and said there's a property down here. I think it's a good deal. We should go look at it. And they're going, and Dawn's like, you are very comfortable. You have all the money you need.
Yeah.
And he just can't shut it off. Like his brain is wired to build and create. And that is just, I mean, he's just nonstop. Like if he hills are fine, he can't survive without working on the next deal. And that's awesome. That's a good.
Well, I think the business
superpower.
architecture is something that it applies across services, mortgage, whatever you want to do. These systems you build are transferable to any service.
Yeah.
And it's called a money model. You have to build a money model, how you generate and make money and create value. And that's what I really enjoyed the past couple of years with mortgage is refining, quote, the mortgage money model per se. And that's why they're sequenced a certain way. I could do the Zoom call right when the contract comes in,
Yeah.
but that's not very smart. You do it at the pre-approval,
Right.
So anyhow,
Right. Well, promise you'll come back when you're ready
Yeah.
to release that new business because I'd love to hear about the new business, but also about how you build a business. That'd be
Yeah.
something somebody would probably be interested into. I know I would. So
absolutely.
I love talking to you and learning. So
Mhm.
I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on the podcast.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank y'all very much. Merry Christmas. Wow, we went for an hour.
Oh yeah,
Almost an hour.
I've done these for like 3 hours before.